Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and tonight we'll be burning the midnight oil. My name's Christian. That over there is Jared. Down there we have our regular Chris.
Hello.
What's up?
We did not have one last week because Chris was in terrible agony.
Look, when you have stuff ripped out of your face, it tends to be a little bit painful.
Ah, sounds pleasant. Sounds great.
Oh yeah, I got to sit down and play games all day, so
Yeah,
What games did you
everything's
play?
normal.
yeah, that's a good segue. What games did you play?
Oh god, played a lot of Minecraft again because I was going through all
Of
the
course.
achievements finally. See, yeah,
I'm sorry, you
surprise
care
there.
about Minecraft achievements?
On the Xbox
care
360?
yeah, I care about all achievements equally, Christian.
My
They
favorite
are
part about Minecraft achievements are how they reset when you have a new world.
Do they really?
Yeah, you earn them every time. I can't count the number of times I've gotten the achievement. Congratulations, you punched a tree.
Yeah,
It's like, congratulations, you played.
Well, okay
good
then.
job.
It's the best.
So what else did you play as you were high on your medication?
Let's see. Played some Pokemon, another big shocker. But I did play some Assassin's Creed 4, which I haven't played
Okay.
in about a year.
Really, you played Black
So-
Flag?
Oh yeah, I love it's my favorite in the franchise. It is just so good.
I played a little bit
Yeah,
of it.
played
I have it, but I haven't played a lot of it. So, but I enjoyed what I played of it. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely a step above 3.
it's definitely the standout of the franchise.
Agreed, definitely. I think it wasn't really that hard though because people were so disappointed by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 just did not do very well, which I don't think was necessarily as fair, but maybe it was kind of a case of expectations being just a little too high. Um, I mean, it wasn't as bad as Unity was, at least. So maybe
Well,
that'll
it
be the
ran.
advantage of the next one, that the next one people will just be like, well, it's not as bad as Unity is, so who cares?
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that'll be a plus.
Mhm.
If it is as bad as Unity, though, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Hello. I
Now,
see you.
Chris, going from
Yes.
what you've been playing to if you've been watching anything, have you actually gone and seen Pixels?
Not yet. I do plan on doing so. I have not been able to do
little-
so yet, though.
A little backstory on this. Chris was so excited for Pixels, and as soon
And
as I
still
saw the
is.
trailer,
It still is.
I was like, this sounds wonderful, but it's gonna be shit.
Yep, me too. I
It's
said the
just
same.
gonna be awful.
And Chris has been excited and still is excited to go see it, despite the fact that everybody says it's awful.
Oh, I'm still gonna see it too.
I'm not gonna see it in theaters. They're not gonna take my money.
No, I won't see it in theaters, but I'll see it some other time.
Ah,
Oh yeah, definitely. To laugh at how bad it is.
you guys are
Exactly.
big party poopers. I'm totally going to find some AMC somewhere. I'm gonna sit down, watch that. It's gonna be great. Gonna love it. Nothing could go wrong. No Cubert peeing.
Chris, I want this to be one time where your standards are even not met. Where even then you don't meet it, something doesn't meet your standards for entertainment.
That would
It's
have to
gonna
be
be
pretty
fine.
low.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Have you ever seen anything that you thought was just terrible?
Like something that you didn't just go to, but something you were just like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
You know what? I don't think I have.
I'm kind of not surprised by that.
No, I wish I could be surprised. But
Yeah.
it's like AJ, but even AJ admits that our friend AJ, who's kind of similar, even he admits that he doesn't like some things. Doesn't stop him from watching. Like the other day, I walked in on him and he was watching LA or Battle for LA. And he's like, "Yeah, this is really bad," but he was still watching it. So, what can you do? At least he acknowledges it.
My,
Anything else you've been playing this week, Chris?
oh, the other day I was looking through my games on my 360. I'm like, I'm bored. Let's play something I've never played before. So I tried Sleeping Dogs. Surprisingly,
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like it's my first enter into like that sort of open sandbox genre, I guess,
Oh,
from
really? You've
that style
never
at least.
really gotten into any of the GTAs or anything?
Nope, never played a GTA, never played one of those kind of games,
San
except for Saints
Andreas.
Row 4.
Not San
So
Andreas. Saints Row. I was gonna say you've played Saints
yeah,
Row.
That's true.
yeah,
But Saints
that's
Row
the
isn't
only
exactly
one.
your typical sandbox.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
No,
It's
it
it's a sandbox game
when you're
with the ridiculousness of
And it's
just
great.
chaos.
yeah, when you're jumping off buildings and just flying through the sky, you know it's good.
Jared,
Yeah.
what about?
All right, so I've been playing like I don't even know how many hours I've logged in Crusader Kings 2 again.
Oh God.
Crusader Kings 2, for those who don't know, it's a grand strategy game and it sucks your life away. And it just had a new patch. And it's great because this new patch made playing in Ireland so much more enjoyable because it added a land connection between Ireland and Wales. So for anyone who hasn't played it for a long time, and if you ever felt like that was an issue, go play again. It's really good though. It's for the new Horse Lords DLC. I haven't bought the DLC yet. I'm waiting for the Game of Thrones mod to actually integrate it into the mod, because that's what
Can't-
determines what DLC I buy.
You can't play without that mod, can you?
It's so hard. Like it's not compatible though. Like the mod isn't made compatible yet with the new patch. So I am like having very severe withdrawal of my Game of Thrones mod. So it's really pretty terrible. But other than that, speaking of Game of Thrones, I also finished the new episode of the Telltale game for Game of Thrones.
How was that?
It was good. It was a Telltale episode. It's that one kind of goes up and down for me. Um, Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Some of the last episodes, I feel like it's almost every other episode I like or I don't like. Like I love the first episode, and then the second episode was really meh, and then the third episode was great, and then the fourth episode was like, it's okay, it's not the worst, and then like the fifth episode was just like, this is really good again. Now I'm really interested, and now the sixth episode will come out. Who knows when? Um, I am beginning to have a couple of issues with Telltale's release schedule. I know a lot of people are having issues with that.
Yeah. Well, they're juggling a lot of
Yeah.
different games now.
Yeah, and they've only are going to be adding more. And you know what? I just want my Wolf Among Us season 2. That's all I want, Telltale.
Good luck.
Please give it to me. I want it. I love it. That's my favorite one.
I still
I've been
need to
waiting
play
for
that
like
one.
a year for that.
It's so good. It's really good. I think that's one of their best ones. I've also finished.
Yeah.
I'm caught up with the Tales from the Borderland as well, which is also very good. So, but man, they need to fix that engine. They really do. That engine needs to be fixed.
What kind of problems have you been having with it?
It's just little like animation errors. Like sometimes the animation is just not that clean. The walk cycles look really weird sometimes. There's just lots of issues that come from it, and I know I'm not the only one. I know lots of people have that, and this machine should be able to handle it. So I know it's not my computer.
Yeah. I know definitely the animations are something that they really need to improve on, and I didn't know that that was actually a limitation of the engine. I thought that was just, poor animation.
I don't know. Either way, they need to fix it because I mean, it was fine for The Walking Dead. That was their first like really big one that got them all their attention. It wasn't the first time that they'd done that, but it was their big one that got all the attention. And like that was what 2012. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
You've done so many games
Yeah.
since then. Get it together. Also, they need a good release schedule because their release schedule is just too whimsical. Use that.
Yeah.
It's too whimsical. It's just like we'll release it when we get it.
The problem with them having a tight schedule is they used to have monthly releases, but the problem is they were always rushing to get them out the door to the point where
Yeah.
it was a very inferior product to what they have now. That's what they started doing with The Walking Dead is they started really taking their time on each episode, and it definitely shows. I don't think we can have monthly releases of the episodes unless they're started working on all of them in advance.
And I don't care if it's monthly. I care if it's consistent. Like I will
Yeah.
wait 3 months for a new episode if I know it's gonna be 3 months. Like I have to know like this will come then, and this will come then, and this will come then, and it will be done by this time.
Yeah. Anything else you've been playing this week?
Yes, I've also okay, so I updated to Windows 10, and when I updated to Windows 10, I went looking through the App Store and I finally decided to try it out, one of the new free-to-play games for Star Wars. So I've been playing Star Wars Commander. Um,
Yes.
that game is actually really fun. It is fun and it works really well with a touchscreen actually. I think it's more fun with a touchscreen. I've actually been using my touchscreen for the first time. Um, and so I've really enjoyed it. It is a pretty well designed game, I feel like. The like buying currency that you can get, it's not impossible to get. You get it for completing entire chapters, like with all 3 stars, kind of Angry Bird style, where you have like 3 stars to try to get,
Yeah.
except
Yeah.
for you're killing people.
Well, I mean, you are an Angry Bird
Just
too.
like-
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Those evil
And
pigs.
so you get crystals for that. You get crystals. Also, there's like random obstacles that keep appearing where you don't have buildings. And so to build there, you have to like clear it away. And so you have to pay money or like other resources to take it away. But you sometimes get crystals in exchange for doing that, for removing those. So it's not impossible to get crystals. It's not really enough that you can get the big bonus, which is to get another droid, which lets you construct more buildings. It's not enough to do that, but it's enough that every once in a while you can speed up the process if you really need to of building something. Just the game design is really well done. The missions it has you do really help you build up your base in a very logical order, to the point that I've now gotten to the level where you have to attack somebody else, and my base is totally like you have to attack another player, an
Yeah.
actual human player, and it's set up so
Right.
well that I feel very confident. It's like, okay, I'm ready to do that because as soon as you do that, you lose your protection and other people can attack you. So I recommend checking that out if you want a free to play game that, at least at the point I'm at, it doesn't feel like a pay to win. But maybe it will later. But it's pretty fun, And with Windows 10, it works great because it has some. It Windows 10 is great for having like pop-up notifications of games.
Really?
Yeah, so in the game, like in the notifications tab, the notifications center, it tells me when it's done with an action in the game, and then I just open the game back up, do some stuff, and then leave.
See, I've been having problems with that little pop-up center because it keeps telling me like every 5 seconds, "Hey, you have a message in there," and I'll click on it and it'll just be like, "You have no messages."
Really, I've had that once or
What?
twice, but it's usually I have like an email. Like right now, I have 3 emails and 2 Star Wars Commander notifications.
Hmm.
But I've also enjoyed playing rock paper scissors with Siri, so that's fun. Or not Siri, Cortana. Sorry, it's gonna take a while to get used to that.
Speaking of Cortana,
Yeah.
I asked Cortana if it could play a game, and it then started quizzing me on movies. The first thing
Really?
it did is start quizzing me on. It was something like, "Does this sound familiar to you? A very powerful ring, an undead army, a giant mountain," and I'm like, "Oh, it's
Awesome.
Lord of the Rings," and it was like, "Hey, you got it on the first try. Good job." Like that was really unexpected and kind of fun.
She has some really.
That
Have you ever
sounds
asked her about
interesting.
Siri?
No, I haven't.
That's kind of fun. They did a good job of like
I
being very nice about it.
I did ask her what her opinion on Bill Gates was, and her response was, "I literally couldn't imagine a world without him." Get it? Because
That's
Yeah.
Cortana wouldn't exist.
She has a variety of answers too, because I've asked her questions like multiple times, because like I do it for myself and then I did it in front of my family, and she'd give different answers.
Yeah, I
So-
noticed that too.
So I mean, she's still fairly limited in what she can do, but what's there is really solid. I really like what they have.
Yeah, it might just be because of because I'm using a nice high quality microphone with my computer, but I found it to be a lot more accurate than, say, Google Now on my phone,
Yeah.
or even Siri when I've tried to use that before.
Yeah, my sister and I were testing Siri versus Cortana. So like I would ask Cortana a question and then she would ask Siri the same question. And it was interesting because like Cortana could do all these responses related to Siri, but Siri had no idea who Cortana was.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, that's a little disappointing. It's kind of like Siri's a little bit easier to have like unstructured conversations, but it's very obvious that it's very limited in what it can do. While Cortana is just kind of like a little bit more honest about, like it's just like
yeah.
I can't do that.
I've even
Like it
actually had
doesn't
it.
try.
I've even actually had it say. I think it was. I said the command. I told her to shut Windows down,
Hmm.
and it said, "I'm sorry, I can't do that right now, but there's an update coming. Please wait."
Well, that's nice.
So it's like, oh,
That's
so it's
cool.
kind of informing me like, hey, we have that feature planned. That's a pretty cool way to tell me.
I'm glad that they're gonna update
That
Cortana
is
because
cool.
that's basically what I was thinking. Is it's like if they keep updating this, then I'll really like Cortana, and I think her voice is much more enjoyable than Siri's.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more human sounding.
Yeah, it really is. I like having Cortana as my assistant. I have it's really easy, and I'm super lazy, so like typing and stuff is like lazy. So it's much easier to just go just to talk to Cortana, and I don't even have to click any buttons because I set it up so that when I say um hey Siri, okay, it
I
didn't
was
turn
gonna,
on.
I
But
was
when I
gonna,
say
I was
that,
gonna say you can't actually say it right now, or it'll pop
I
up.
know I can't because otherwise Siri's gonna or
Do it.
oh no, I didn't say Siri. I said Siri, so it doesn't count. But if I say hey Cortana, then it'll activate. And it was cool because I tested it with my dad and my sister and had them try to do it, and they couldn't do it
Yeah.
because I had it set to recognize my voice only and how I say hey Siri or Cortana.
That's cool.
I just gotta say Siri when I say that, so I don't activate Cortana.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Uh,
Yeah.
we should talk more about Windows 10 though when we actually hit the news section, because that's
Yeah.
a pretty big, hefty
Nah.
piece of news there.
Well, all that's left is for you to talk about what you have.
Oh, I
Yeah, what
played a
did you
bunch of
play?
boring games. I played Trove some more
Yep.
because that game's pretty great. Though I am starting to feel the fatigue finally of like getting kind of sick of just doing, dungeons followed by dungeons and then little
Some
dungeons.
sense. Is that pretty much all
And
that game is? I haven't tried it yet.
it's a lot of that, but now I'm actually starting to build my house up some, so that's pretty fun.
That does sound
Okay.
cool.
And Warframe had a pretty big update.
What? You played Warframe?
I know, right?
For all of you who don't know,
Yeah.
Christian is a whale for Warframe.
Look,
He helps
I
keep that
am
game afloat.
I am proud of what I am,
Yeah.
sir.
He's
will-
proud. He's proud of it.
I will
That's
be
not
a
a
whale
shame.
for that game.
You have put so much money into that game.
I have put hundreds
Oh,
of
yeah.
dollars into that game, and I have no shame in it. I love that game. But they have an update now where it's the Parkour 2.0 update. You can literally now jump off of anything. Like,
Anything?
literally any surface. I had a point where I don't think I touched the ground for a solid minute. I was just flying through the air. You can now go into, like, a slow motion if you aim your gun in midair as well. So I was flipping around through the entire place. If you touch a railing, he'll start grinding on it and fly across it. Uh, you can now bullet jump,
That's dope.
so you can use your gun to fire yourself forward. Yes, it's basically Ruby. Uh,
Yes.
it's fantastic.
Nice.
Oh, I beat Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Oh, how's that?
Ah, nice.
Oh boy. Um, I liked every part of the game except the main part of the game. Like, the idea of making your own character, fantastic. Being able to experience a storyline that's not the same thing that we've experienced a million times before, great. I actually really liked it. It was fun. It was like a fanfic game, basically. It was
Okay.
like, hey, oh
Kinda,
no, your character's suddenly in the Dragon Ball universe, and now you have to go throughout history and take part in all the big fights. And it's like, oh, so every Dragon Ball fan's dream. Good. And the idea that it was kind of MMO-ish, where you could level up your character and interact with other players and do quests with
Yeah.
them, really cool ideas. The biggest flaw, though, for me was the combat system was way too simple. There is a total of 5 combos in the game.
Really?
It's a fighting game that
For
Yeah.
a
has
fighting
5
game?
combos, and every special attack is just done by holding down the right trigger and then pressing a face button, like A, B, X, and Y.
Yeah.
So, just wondering, is this a game that would appeal to people who aren't fans of Dragon Ball, or not
Um,
really?
I think. Well, if you're not a fan, then you're probably playing it for the fighting game aspect.
Hmm.
And in which case, if you really want a fighting game, there's a lot of better ones out there.
Okay.
It's not that the
Yeah.
fighting in Xenoverse is terrible, it's just absolutely standard in every way. There's nothing
Mhm.
that stands out about it that says, this is special. It's
Yeah.
functional, but it's not complex enough for
Interesting.
a lot of fighting fans, I think. You definitely really want to be a fan of the show to enjoy it. I think that that's probably the reason I kept going, is because I'm a fan of the show and I just wanted to see what happened next with the story, and I wanted to keep my character going forward and get new outfits. You can train under all the different characters from the series. It's pretty in depth in that.
See, Christian, I've kind of had the opposite reaction with it because, as you know, I was playing it a lot with Tyler over the last year, and I had not really seen much of the show other than like maybe 30 episodes here and there every once in a while.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't really call myself a fan of the series. But after playing this game, I was like, this is really dope. And then I actually started watching the series too. So I mean,
Well, perfect
Certain
time to start
people-
watching it.
pretty much, yeah. Freaking
Since it's suddenly
Crossovers.
making a huge comeback with, its multiple movies and it's starting back up again with the new
Sequel.
series.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like different people react to it different ways, I guess.
Oh, another game I played actually. I played and actually beat Freedom Planet.
What's
Did
that?
you?
It originally started out as a Sonic fan game, but eventually kind of grew into its own IP, but it still uses a lot of the same elements as Sonic the Hedgehog, the original 2D ones, except you have actually, I know a lot of people would hate me for saying this, but I like it way more than the original Sonic games because they actually improved on them in almost every way. The level design, the fantastic level design from the old Sonic games is there. And there's a good, I think there was about 10 different stages with a few different acts to each stage. And everything's fully voice acted. So they presented the story through these kind of like pixel art cutscenes. And the story was there. Like, it wasn't
Well,
exactly...
I mean, let's be honest. The original Sonic is basically the same way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this definitely has more of a story than the original Sonics did, though. I mean, it's about basically, oh no, the bad guy has come to Earth and he's pitting all of these different countries against each other, and then, of course, they all have to form together to make an alliance to stop him.
Listen,
And
Christian,
That's
Yeah.
the story.
just because it has more story doesn't mean that it's better.
It is better.
More story, but more story doesn't always mean good.
But it was a decent story. I'm not saying
Okay,
it was
if
a
it's
bad
decent
story. It was a story that I
Yeah.
was excited to see the next part of, but if I was telling someone, try this game, it wouldn't be for the story. Though
Yeah.
I do love, there is one character, because, everyone in the story is an animal.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking
there's
at
one
the poster
character
here.
who's
Looking at
like
this.
who's like a duck man,
A duck man?
but while everyone else talks, the only thing he can say is quack. So he's the one animal in that universe that actually just says animal noises. And he's like one of the royal guards, so he's some big tough guy.
So he's just kind of sitting there just like
Yeah.
whack.
Like,
Right.
and he always talks after the cutscene's over and everyone has left, and he'll just be standing there like quack.
Sounds logical.
But,
I mean, why
I
not?
mean, they basically took the
Yeah.
old Sonic games and gave you an attack that wasn't jumping. You can actually, while moving at your top speed, just hit the X button and you'll do an attack and keep maintaining that speed and moving forward. So you can actually go through the levels without losing so much momentum. At the
That's cool.
same time, there is 3 different characters you can play as, and only one of them kind of plays in a way close to Sonic. The other one actually drives a motorcycle through the level, and the other one's main mechanic is picking up blocks and throwing them at enemies and digging through the level.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good varied gameplay, and you can play through the game as any of these characters.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of
Are
fun
you able
with
to
that.
play as? Yeah, are you able to play as the Molologist right off the bat? Then I'm guessing.
One of them you
Or
have
do
to
you
unlock. The other two you choose who you want to at the start of the game, and you play through the rest of the story as them. And I haven't played through too much of the story as the other character, but I've noticed small differences in the cutscenes, so I think they'll actually have different cutscenes throughout the game. They're not huge differences,
Cool.
but they're there.
Yeah, it's the small things that make a difference.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So, I guess we can move on to news like we basically were earlier with Windows 10.
So going back to
Ah,
Windows
it's
10.
fine.
So yeah, I know some people have had some complaints about
Yeah.
Windows 10, but largely it seems like it's been pretty well received.
Yeah, so far it has been. I mean, it's definitely a step up from what they were at.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have too many problems with Windows 8, but I am liking Windows 10 much better. Like I was like, about Windows 8, but Windows 10 I'm like, I really like this. The start menu is nice. I like having that back.
I still don't fully like why is it 10? Why can't it be 9? Also, I counted how many Windows operating systems there are, and I'm pretty sure that this actually is 10, and that Windows 8 should have been called Windows 9, and 7 should have been 8.
How did this even happen?
Why did they just start numbering
Wait.
randomly? They used to name them after the year, then they abandoned that after XP, and now then they just started being like, screw it, it's 7. It's the Mario Kart syndrome.
I I saw a picture online where it's like Bill Gates like, here, let me teach you how to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 95, 96,
XP.
XP, Vista, 7, 8, 10.
Yay!
With numbers with Bill Gates.
Uh, but overall, yeah, it's a big step up. I can't say I'm finding it dramatically different than 7 in terms of its functionality, but it's enough where I'm enjoying the subtle changes that I've seen. Like I like live tiles. I like having those in my start menu.
Hmm.
So, as someone who does not know what Windows 10 is all about, because he actually is sticking with 8 for a while, what are live tiles?
They're the
Dare I
exact
ask?
they're the tiles from Windows 8 that you have
Yeah,
on your
you
start
just-
menu.
Oh, okay.
It's the
Except now
exact
it
same
doesn't
thing.
take up the entire screen, so you can actually see what
You
you're
can make
doing.
it do it though. If I
Yeah, you
remember
can
correctly.
still make it do it if you like.
If you like that, you can keep that, which is nice that they have that as an option. But
Definitely.
I would honestly recommend go ahead and do it. I there's just a lot of nice little things I feel like about this operating system that make it a significant step up. So I highly recommend just go ahead and make it when you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing urgent. I like Cortana. Cortana is
Yeah,
probably the
which is
most fun
nice.
I've had with it. It's not that it's convenient, it's not that it's useful. I've just been having fun with it. Like,
Of course.
yeah, I could open Unity with, the mouse buttons, or I could tell Cortana to open it for me.
Hmm. It's really fun. I it's just fun to experiment to see what she can do. It's kind of that new sensation that you had like with Siri, where it's like, oh, let's figure out what Siri can do, and like nobody cares anymore because it's like we know what Siri can do, but now it's like, oh, we have a new like virtual intelligence to try out. So it's kind of still in that phase a little bit, and I'm sure that the novelty will wear off a little bit, but I really hope that they keep updating Cortana and make her more and more useful.
That's actually
Yeah.
something, probably my favorite feature about Windows 10 so far, is this little app called the Windows Feedback app, which
Yeah,
basically
that's
people get to leave their feedback directly from their Windows operating system, and then they can vote on other people's feedback
Oh,
to
really?
what,
I didn't know about the voting.
yeah, you can
You can
vote
vote on.
to say what you would like, and you can even look at like what the current top things that people want are, so that they can actually get feedback directly from their customers and see what everyone is upvoting. It's
That's
like,
cool.
that's ingenious. You have built in a way for your customers to communicate with you directly into the device. And not only that, they can communicate
Yeah.
with each other this way and show, we really like this idea.
Hmm. Windows 10 seems the most like it's trying so hard to be user friendly.
It's trying really, really hard to win back the PR from Windows 8.
And it's doing a pretty good job so far. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I haven't. I mean, it seems like they pretty much listened to every problem people had with Windows 8, and they said, "All right, let's fix it."
And if they're gonna
And they did.
continue working on the feedback that customers get, it's only gonna get better.
And it's
So
clear that they really want people on this system, considering they're giving it away for free if you own 7 through 8,
Vista,
which is like,
right?
8.1.
is it from
I
Vista?
think Vista. I think you get it with Vista.
I
For sure.
thought it was 7.
Oh boy, we just had a big drop in frames there. Uh-oh.
It was
That's like the
Jared's
top result. Can Vista, and then it's like upgrade to Windows 10. Yes,
What's it
Vista.
say?
Wait, what? What's this? You guys keep going. Let me read this.
But
Okay, apparently, I guess there's a loophole
oh,
where
what?
XP and Vista users can also upgrade. Although, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if any computer that came with XP can run Windows 10. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's definitely not gonna be compatible with Cortana. I'm almost completely certain of that.
I don't see
Oh,
why it
yeah.
wouldn't be as long as it's got a microphone.
Well, it depends. Like, probably the microphone that it comes with. Any microphone that came from back then, I don't know. Like, it even told me that it wasn't sure if my microphone, which is brand new, would be compatible with Cortana.
Yeah, but it said that about mine too, and I have a studio microphone.
Yeah.
I
So I
think
think
it
it's
just
pretty much
Obviously not high enough.
yeah, I think it just says that. If
just
you-
as like a warning.
yeah, is like a kind of like a blanket statement of like, hey, this might not work.
Just so you can't sue us, this could end up not working correctly.
Take a look at your microphone. Is it still a microphone? Well, good, then you're set.
Yeah, so
But-
Yeah.
Windows 10 overall win, and it's definitely seeming like they're trying to win back PR, and they're doing it in a very good way,
mhm.
and they're delivering a fantastic product for nothing. So
Now,
kudos
the
to
real
them.
question, how is this going to integrate with Xbox and their gaming platform?
It
That's
already
the real
has.
question. I know, it's done
Yeah.
quite a bit. They're still
I already
working on
uninstalled
increasing
it all.
too. You what?
I already uninstalled every app that had the word Xbox on it.
It Oh, and that solitaire though. That's one thing that people are very unhappy with.
Yeah.
Oh, what about it?
Oh, you haven't
You
heard?
didn't hear?
Huh.
Okay,
Oh.
so it's got solitaire on it, but it has ads. And you have to pay to get rid of the ads. And
Oh,
it's
yeah, that's a
connected to
bite.
Xbox Live.
But don't
Yep.
worry, it's got Candy Crush pre-installed. You're fine.
So don't worry about it. It
I
also
remember
has
everyone making an uproar over that. Oh no, it's got Candy Crush on it. I'm gonna have to hit uninstall.
they
Oh.
very obviously want you to get Minecraft Windows 10 as well because that comes on your start menu that it gives you.
Is it
Yeah.
free with Windows 10? Because I didn't see a
No.
price tag anywhere.
No.
It's
It
free
should
if you
be.
already own Minecraft.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyone who already all the what is it? How many millions of people who already own Minecraft? They get it
Like
for
half
free.
the world.
So,
So
which will
Almost
be
everyone.
interesting. It's basically Pocket Edition.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah,
all
that's
it is.
right.
It's
Yeah.
Pocket Edition. So, but that's good for people who already own Pocket Edition because I'm pretty sure it's going to start getting updated very quickly now.
yeah.
Are people who have Pocket Edition able to communicate with the 10 Edition?
No.
Yes.
No?
Yes, they
Yes.
can play
Now
with
they
each
can.
other.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, but
Before
it's
they were not able
limited.
to.
You can only have like what 8
Right.
people? I think it is.
Yeah.
It's like very
is it?
limited on how many because it doesn't have any dedicated servers.
Well, none of the Minecraft games do. The servers are all run by users.
Yeah, but there's no way to do that. I don't think with the infrastructure. If if I remember correctly, or something.
Really?
I just remember that apparently it's limited to like 8 people, from what I heard, until they get that fixed. So, but you can connect with people using your Xbox Live accounts, so that's nice. You can play with people who have the Pocket Edition, which is going to be really nice. Because like I mean, I have a little cousin who he plays, and so if it's a family gathering and I get this when I do get it, um, we could play together. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's gonna kind of be everybody gets it, and then they're like, okay, cool, bye. I'm gonna go play real Minecraft until you update this.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
feeling that's how it's going to go because people are going to be like, "Oh, cool. A new version and I'm back in the beta again." It's an exciting thing for people.
Yeah.
And then
When's
they're going to remember, "Oh, right. It's the beta for a game that's already out."
when's Fable Legends coming out? I kind of want to try that when it comes out.
Yeah,
I know it's
it's-
also free to play.
Yeah, it's a free to play.
Yeah.
Let's take a
I don't
look.
remember.
Because that'll be a really fun game, I think.
Fable Legends.
Initial release date 2015. That's all it says on
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, I see that. Well, I mean, 2015, it's got a little ways left.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's not really a Fable game, but it sounds intriguing. I want to try it. It's free, so why not?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a lot like a
Exactly.
game called Dungeon Land, if either of you have played that.
I think I've heard of it, but I've never
Uh,
played
It went free to play now, I think, on
Oh, really?
Steam. Yeah. You should play that sometime.
it. Dungeon Land, it's called?
Yeah. It's basically 3 people are going through the dungeon, and then one person is the dungeon master who is trying to stop those 3 heroes from getting through the dungeon. And at the end of the level, the dungeon master actually gets to directly control the boss.
Oh, that's cool.
It would help if I
But-
could spell dungeon.
But you could play, you play as the dungeon master, and you get to place down minions and traps, and even there's a taunt button to taunt the heroes.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I believe there's like an
I
evil
definitely-
laugh button, and it actually has a mechanical purpose. Like it buffs minions or something like that.
I really want Fable Legends to do well. I'm not convinced it will, but I want it to do well.
Is it being it's being made by Lionhead still, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not
yeah.
convinced.
Yeah. But he's not
because they also made the Fable games, and
Yeah, but what's his name? The guy who heads those projects, he's not in charge of it, so
yeah, I hate to say it for Peter Molyneux, but that might be a plus because then people won't be expecting unreasonable things.
it could be like Black Flag, It's like everybody's expecting the worst because the last game was not what they wanted, and it's like, you know what? This is okay. It's not what I expected, but it's okay.
Or
I'll
Shadows
take a
of Mordor.
pirate adventure. Shadows of Mordor
Yeah,
is
or
pretty.
Shadows of Mordor.
Man, I was convinced that game was going to be awful.
That was my
and I
favorite.
was so
That
wrong.
was my favorite Arkham game.
It was my favorite Assassin's Creed animations for the longest time.
It was Batman meets Assassin's Creed, literally.
I mean, I remember when we first saw trailers for that game,
Oh,
Adam
yeah.
Sessler had said that he felt embarrassed for the developers because it was so similar to Assassin's Creed. And it wasn't until they showed him the Nemesis system that he thought it was a joke at first.
Well, everybody did. I mean, other than the
Yeah.
Nemesis system, that game is actually not that great. It's no different than any game, but that Nemesis system is fantastic.
Oh,
It changes
yeah,
everything.
is.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I got to the point in the story where I could brand people, and then I never went further in the story because I'm like, cool, that's all I needed. And then I just played the Nemesis system.
I
Didn't you-
hope that that's not the next thing that everybody does, because I could see that getting annoying.
Yeah.
After-
Is it
It
just
could be, yeah.
is it just me, or did Shadows of Mordor feel like the first game that was actually next gen? Just because it was introducing a new concept, a new idea that seemed fresh, something we hadn't seen before, something that might not have been possible before.
I think if anything else felt next gen, it
Yeah.
was GTA 5. GTA 5 felt like a next gen experience.
Too bad on last gen it would cause the consoles to melt. I mean, they
Yeah.
had to pull off so many hardware tricks even to get it to run, and even then, the failure rate
That's why it
so
was a next
high.
gen game on
Yeah,
on a last gen console.
It literally couldn't really run it on the last gen, But
Nope.
don't worry, a year later they got heists out, so everything was forgiven.
Yeah, and they were
Everybody
free.
was happy
That was
after that.
amazing that those were free.
Well,
That was,
I don't think that they were ever going to charge for them, were they?
no, I
think-
don't think so. But
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
they
think
could
so.
have.
I
They
think
really
that
could.
was actually supposed to be something that they said was going to be coming very shortly after launch. It was
Yeah,
one
it
of the main
was.
features of online mode.
They had a
Yeah.
lawsuit about that. 'Cause somebody
Yeah,
was like, "You said it would be on release, so I am suing you." And then the judge was like, "They never said that. They never said anything to make you think
and
that.
and even
You're
if they
just a-"
did, all they would have to
GG,
say is just like, "We're delaying it. Deal with
Yeah.
it. There's nothing we can do about it. What are we supposed to do?"
So, other
Yeah,
than
really.
Windows 10, has there actually even been any other news? I'm not gonna
Um,
lie. That's why I haven't changed the topic at all, because I feel like there's not really anything else
There
going.
honestly isn't anything I can think of off the top of my head.
I can only think of one thing, and it's not even something that's really that big. Like, all I can think of is Halo 5 getting rid of split screen. That's
Getting what?
Yeah.
Well, that happened a
For
long
the
time
split
ago,
screen.
Chris. You are so far
Oh.
behind
Oh,
on
yeah.
that. AJ
I'm
and I
just
were
hearing
talking-
about it now.
Yeah, well, that happened months ago. That
Yeah.
happened at the beginning of the summer that we found out about that.
Yeah,
I'm only hearing about it now.
I mean, I think it's a bummer because that's always been a big staple of the series.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say about it. I'm going to be honest. The only reason I've ever touched a Halo game was the co-op, and then I played a little bit of multiplayer, and that's about it.
I've loved Halo. It's been one of my favorite games of all time, and seeing split screen go is actually quite saddening for me.
I imagine it's a game I would really, really like, but I've never felt like going out and hunting down an Xbox and an Xbox 360 and an Xbox One and the games just to play them all.
Yeah.
Don't you have a 360?
Shh, that thing hasn't been turned on in like 4 years. I'm pretty sure it died in its sleep or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I haven't fed it
remember.
in a while.
I got a piece of news.
What's that?
What's
Street
that?
Fighter 5 beta.
Oh,
Yay!
if I was any good at fighting games, I would be so excited.
No, didn't you hear what happened?
What happened?
It was a major fail. The server like crashed or something. Like it was made unplayable for such a long time. People couldn't actually play the beta for like days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Didn't
And
they actually take it down for a while?
yeah, they
And
took
put
it
back
down.
up, take
Like
it
you
down?
couldn't, and then they brought it up, but then they're like, we're pushing the game back a little bit or something. I think they said something like this won't affect like the beta window. That the beta window will be just increased a little bit because you couldn't play it for a week.
Yep.
So I mean, they handled it gracefully, but yeah, it was a pretty big like crash on the beta. And
Yeah.
other than that, Five Nights at Freddy's the movie details.
Oh,
Learn about what the
oh,
movie's gonna be.
oh, do share. Do
Um,
share.
Let me your
So-
secrets.
Apparently, it's going to be. It's not going to be like CGI or anything. Like they're going to use like real animatronics.
God.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
Terrible.
It seemed no like. I think it's actually going to be really good. Like I think it's going to go to the heart of what makes Five Nights at Freddy's scary for some people. Because like there are some people who are legitimately afraid of animatronics. So.
Yeah.
I think it's going to really tap into that fear of actually being afraid of animatronics.
I'm not gonna lie, those games never really managed to scare me beyond the initial jump scares, but I have always been hooked on the lore of those games.
Yeah. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to. I feel so bad for MatPat, the game theorist.
Right?
Yeah.
That video, he's like, I'm gonna beat them. I'm gonna beat them, and then it's like, I lost.
Also,
Still loses.
can I point out how sad it is that we're getting the 4th release of the game to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the very first game?
Not even. He released it early too.
Well, yeah, that's why he released it early. It was supposed to be released on October 31st.
No, cause yeah. Well, he announced even because like what happened was he announced, so it was gonna be, it's going out in October, and it's like never mind, it's not coming out in October. It's gonna come out on the 1-year anniversary. It's like never mind, it's done already. I can't wait. I'm gonna send it out now. So he actually sent it out before the 1-year anniversary.
Though he did say that there is going to be free DLC coming out around the time of its original release date,
Yeah, on
which is pretty
Halloween.
nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
That's
I hope that helps. We'll see. This game is
yeah.
definitely very different. I haven't played. I've never actually played a Five Nights at Freddy's game, but I've definitely watched enough gameplay. So it's very different.
I played a bit of the third one. Didn't I don't know, eventually
That one looks the most complex out of all of them.
it was also the least
Yeah.
frightening out of all of them. There's no point where I was really tense about anything. It was just
Really, I
like
found that one the most tense one of them all. Like
you would
just
think
with how they
so,
operated the jump scares.
but eventually I was just like, all right, push this button, do that, wait for that, have this guy pop out, then this guy will pop out. And then it eventually just became a chore. I was just going through the motions. That was the first one of
So
them
what
I
you
actually tried playing, and I'm gonna stick to just hearing about it.
I will say this though, Scott's recently the guy who makes these games. He recently came out and kind of was giving advice to people who wanted to make content,
Mhm.
specifically game developers. And he's kind of like talking about how like he gets lots of emails about people who like kind of identify with him about struggling in the industry and being told they're not good enough. And like at the end of his message, he's just like, don't fall into the pit of people who have given up on something to make. Don't fall into the pit of people who have given up on making something of themselves, and be sure you make everything out of yourself. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
like he's just really coming out and being like trying to be a very inspirational voice for basically like don't listen to haters, just make things, make what you want. He's like, I'm gonna retire one day and I want to play the games that you make and watch the things you film and all that. And he's like, I want to enjoy what you make when I'm done. So,
Yeah, fuck Phil
that was
Fish.
so cool.
yeah, I know. Like I'm just like, you know what? I respect him at least that he's not an asshole like some people have been.
Everyone quit the gaming
Yeah.
industry. There's nowhere in it.
You
Phil
have no
Fish told me
future.
so.
So it's nice to see
There's
that
no point.
somebody who, like, I mean, he's been criticized plenty. I mean, I think we've
Oh,
all
yeah.
criticized
I
his release schedules.
I said that he was a genius up until his fourth game. He went in, he made a game, he knew it was going to be a fad, so he just started pumping them out, and I'm like, this is ingenious, but people are going to start getting pissed because there's too many of them. And then after the third one, that was announced to be the last one, and I was like, he's a genius. He did it. He stopped before people got pissed off and just made off like a bandit. And then they made a fourth one, and he screwed it all up, and I'm like, oh, you were doing so well.
Yeah, but you have to admire that work ethic, though. Like, man, that man can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
reused assets, but
Mhm.
they were
It's still
very
a lot of work. It's not easy
Yeah.
to make a game like that,
Oh,
even
yeah.
just by yourself. Like, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's not easy.
Yeah. I mean, people
Yeah,
seem to think that
definitely not.
just reusing an asset makes everything so much easier, and it definitely does lighten the load a bit, but you usually use that asset in a completely different way. You don't just
Yeah.
slap it in there and say,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks good enough, let's go with that.
Well,
Well,
we'll just put it over there.
okay,
There's
okay,
there
most
in the
games
corner,
don't do that. We're not going to talk about Call of Duty 1 through 49.
Whoa, you mean like the greatest game of all time, bro?
The fact that they're still using assets from the second Call of Duty disgusts me.
It's fine. It's no one will notice.
Yeah, no. Well, no one will be able to notice, not with the FOV of 10.
Yeah, that's fine. People don't need to see past, this.
People can't even see past 10 degrees, so it's fine. They can't see over 30 frames a second and 10 degrees. Really, the human eye is a terrible thing.
Don't forget 940p.
Yeah, we can't see 1080p at all. It's impossible.
It's God damn it, Ubisoft.
But we need to
Now
go
I'm
for
just-
we need to get a cinematic experience, Chris. If we crop off these sections of the screen, because the human eye doesn't need those anyways,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then cap the frame rate at 30, a really cinematic thing like 30, but not actually cinematic, just kind of cinematic.
Oh yeah.
Because we won't go with the actual cinematic frame rate.
Nah, because
You
that'd
know,
be too easy.
24.
We gotta be ourselves, but we have to also try to be them. You know?
Uh,
Okay.
But anyways, in case you haven't noticed, there is no other news this week.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm
it's-
literally looking at all news sites and stuff. There's just nothing.
Yeah, there's
I mean, unless you
Really?
want to talk about realistic females being portrayed realistically in
God.
games. I don't want to talk about that. Hulk Hogan
Ugh.
is being racist. Yeah, that's
Well,
about
isn't
it.
that what a lot of old white men do?
Yeah, but he said some really racist things. But he said them 8 years ago. Ah, Space Jam 2.
That-
Yeah. Sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't
That's a
suck at
thing.
all.
everybody get up, summer sun.
I'm a
That's
I'm a pessimist when it comes to bringing back old things because usually they don't bring them back in a very good way.
Oh, here's a new thing. This just came out yesterday. Sony has a new system up for their like free games that you get as being part of PlayStation Plus.
Mhm.
Now the audience will be able to, like the PlayStation Plus users, will be able to vote on what games they want to be free, and the games that lose the vote will still soon after that be put up on sale. Like they'll be on a sale. It won't be free, but it'll be on sale.
Yeah, it's
So
a pretty
that's
cool
cool.
system.
I approve. I approve of it.
Yeah.
Not PlayStation Plus.
But pretty sure no one heard that. Skype.
Nope. I didn't even hear that.
You didn't?
No.
Nope.
Skype suddenly
Yeah.
decided to freak the fuck out for a sec, so
I just said I don't have PlayStation Plus, so it doesn't affect me.
yeah.
And there's no reason for me to get Xbox Live now because I don't have an Xbox One. So yeah, no
Yep.
reason there.
But you
Now
can
that
still
that's
get
being
it for your Windows 10, Jared, to enjoy all the beneficial features such as oh wait, Windows already has all those features. Never mind.
Just no.
The fact
Just
that you
no.
can actually pay for Windows, sorry, for Xbox Live for your Windows machine, I just find it hilarious. It's like, yes,
Why?
that's what I
Why?
want to do. I want to pay money in order to voice chat with people from Xbox Live. Possibly one of the most vulgar communities in gaming.
Yep.
One of the
oh.
least.
News. I thought of another piece of news. They
got one too.
officially announced the release schedules for all the future Marvel Netflix series.
No.
Did they?
Yep.
Can we pull that
So
up? Liked
Jessica
this.
Jones. Yeah, because I mean, we all watched Daredevil and we really liked it.
Yeah.
Till
and
the
so, yeah, till that very last episode. Really, the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
So Jessica Jones is gonna come out at the end of the year, and then every 6 months they're gonna have a new series put up. Every 6 months.
Every 6.
Yep.
That's
And this is
cool.
going to be on top of, they also have like new seasons of Agent Carter and of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming out. So
Yeah.
we're at the very least, starting next year, going to get 2 Netflix series, S.H.I.E.L.D. continued, maybe an Agent Carter, and 3 Marvel movies every year.
Excellent.
Crazy.
Feed my hunger.
So I guess the
Now-
question is, are they starting to overextend themselves, and are they going to make themselves unfriendly for people to join? I mean, this is basically what happened to the comics, that a lot of people like stopped getting into the comics because they became so like there was such a huge information gap if you were wanting to get it in. But are movies and television shows a lot more accessible than comic books, I guess is the question.
I think that they tend to be less time consuming because you don't have to, spend time. Comic books aren't something you can enjoy with friends because obviously you're not going to
Right.
just sit there and read together. It's considered a more social activity to watch a film together or a TV series. So I think people can find more time to do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But in
but at the
terms of-
same time, how long does it take you to read through an issue of a comic book at the same time, though? Like, as someone I've read them, like, a lot, and I'm sure both of you have too, it usually takes, like, 10, 15 minutes to get through an issue.
Yeah, they're
so-
usually
People
pretty
are
short.
lazy. People are lazy.
That no one reads anymore.
That too.
I've met people. Not gonna name anyone, but I've met people who won't read 2 paragraphs because it's not one.
Is that who's below you? Who is that?
I don't know. Maybe you should.
Oh, wait a minute. Bastard.
I'm not gonna lie, you can be a really lazy person sometimes, Chris, when it comes to reading.
When did I say that?
You have done it several times, and that's specifically why you started getting that speed reader app, so that you could bear to read through all that stuff.
No, I got that because it was cool. Let's be honest about that one.
It was pretty cool.
It was cool, but I didn't particularly need it because I already have a massively high reading comprehension.
I
So do
always do character voices in my head, so it takes me forever to read anything.
I only do that for Huckleberry Finn because I can't stand reading that. It's so awful reading that book. I have to picture Morgan Freeman saying it to me in his southern accent.
That would be
So,
absolutely
I
wonderful.
really hate that actually when books. I understand why they do it, but I hate it when they write the accent in the book
Yeah.
because then it's like I have to read the sentence twice sometimes just to understand exactly what they're saying. Like, oh, I have to combine these 3 words together to make the actual word.
I'm okay with it unless it's the narrator. If it's the narrator, why? Why does the narrator have to speak with such an awful accent? It's not that it's a southern accent, it's just that it's a very uneducated accent. So it's like full of all these like grammatical errors.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
get what
southern
you're getting
accents
at
are
here.
fine. Like southern accents fine. I'm okay with that, but it's when it's just all grammatical errors because it's obviously, I mean Huckleberry Finn's not an educated person. So
Right.
Well, that's kind of the whole point of
Ugh.
Huckleberry Finn.
I know it is, but it's so annoying. But oh well.
Jared just hates it all, every part of it.
Yeah, I did. I spark noted that. I'm sorry to my American lit teacher. I'm sorry. I spark
I'm not
noted
sorry
that.
at all, but I think I spark noted every single thing that you ever gave us except Sherlock Holmes because Sherlock Holmes was amazing. Oh, and
There's no was.
The Lord of Flies. I liked the Lord of Flies.
That was a cool one.
Last of the Mohicans was a good book.
I
The
don't
movie
think I
was
ever had to
awful.
read that one.
I didn't either.
It's a good book, but the movie's awful.
But anyways, we're talking about books.
Yeah.
Books are
Hey,
media.
books can be digital form.
They can.
All right.
They can.
So, I actually found more news if we want to go back to talking about media things.
Oh, please, yes.
So, don't quote me on this, but I'm 99% sure that these are the two first games that are being announced for the Nintendo NX.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Oh, really?
Square Enix has recently announced that Dragon Quest X and Dragon Quest XI will both be available for the next console.
Hmm.
So it's just like Nintendo doesn't want to say anything about it, but Square Enix is like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
Do
Has
we even
anyone
have
played-
confirmation that it's an actual console yet? That it isn't a handheld console, or
Yeah, we know it's a console.
do we
It's a
know it's like
console.
a
Yeah.
full home console, not a
It
handheld
is a
or
home
anything mobile?
console.
Okay.
It's supposed to be geared towards gamers as opposed to being a family console.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see because it's been a long time since I think they've ever really tried to appeal to gamers necessarily.
Yeah.
Probably not since like the GameCube, even maybe the 64.
Well, with the Wii U, they did really try to appeal towards gamers. They just didn't quite know how to do it.
Yeah.
Because you know what gamers want? Software. We
Well,
want software.
that and we don't want like an entirely new way to play is great, but that also excludes the old ways to play because then designers have to, make media for that peripheral unless one of the default controllers you package with that thing is the Pro controller, it just doesn't work because then you
I-
can't have a traditional game experience on it.
I think one of the detriments to that system is actually that you can only have one pad to it. If you
Yeah.
get multiple pads,
Yeah.
imagine what you could do with that. You could do some awesome stuff with that.
I think the
Like that'd be perfect
asynchronous.
for tournament like card play. That'd be perfect.
I think the asynchronous
Yeah.
multiplayer with that is the best thing that ever came out of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Agreed.
easily.
but
Like
I
just playing through like Nintendo Land. I mean, that game alone just shows how much you can do with it. It's pretty sweet.
Also, I love how you can know how long the podcast has been going by just looking at the clock, and it'll tell you the
Yep.
exact time because we start at midnight.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Just want to point out that little fun fact for everyone.
Fun fact.
Fun fact: the Midnight Oil starts at midnight.
But I have high hopes for this system. I hope it goes well. But it's gonna depend on a lot of facts that we don't know. Like, can it play Wii U games? Will it play Wii games?
Will it have
Um,
games?
Will it have the gamepad? Will it have games is also very important because that's not guaranteed with Nintendo these days.
Will it be VR?
How integrated with Facebook will it be?
Ugh.
Will you be able to play mobile games on it?
How many
Will it
candies
have
can I
Pokemon?
crush?
All the candies. All of them. But yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be a cool system if they do it right. But I guess we won't know until they talk about it.
yeah.
Also, will it be the Nintendo Wii U Plus?
I'm sorry, what?
The Nintendo Wii U Plus. That sounds like a perfect name for it, right? The Wii U Plus.
Just
Nintendo, you better not.
So we can go from the Wii to the Wii U to the Wii U
I'm
Plus.
thinking you just need to drop the whole Wii thing
Jared.
altogether because no matter what you put in front of it or behind it, it's going to sound stupid. You know why? Because the Wii sounded stupid to begin with.
Oh, no, I got it. Okay, I got it. This is the new name of the new console, the Wii Plus U. That's the new name of the console. It's the Wii Plus U.
I think we're down a guest.
So what's gonna happen now, right?
Clearly, it needs to be the Wii one.
We won all of your money.
We won.
That would be the best thing ever. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, I think it's really gonna depend on. It's gonna depend on a lot of facts that we just don't have any information on yet. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see
Yeah.
for next year. I hope it comes out soon. It'll come out next year or the year after for sure.
Nintendo, I love
Yeah.
you so much. Quit fucking up.
It's not like the Wii U was the worst mess up they've ever made.
It's actually probably the most appealing system to me.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's because they have exclusives that are really good that you can't get on a computer.
Nintendo will always have those because the exclusives
Nintendo.
are all from Nintendo.
Because that's what literally keeps them in business.
Yeah, I mean it's what pretty much pushes all of their consoles forward.
Yeah. I don't think there's really ever been a system since the SNES that's really been pushed by third-party software from
Yeah.
for Nintendo systems.
Yeah, the GameCube had a decent amount of third-party support. Resident Evil 4 was
Yeah,
a
that's
GameCube
tr-
exclusive. Tales of
that's true.
Symphonia. That was one of their big. I know it's not extremely popular, but that was one of their bigger games.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can think of
Alright.
off the top of my head, to be honest.
See, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, Christian.
Because the rest of them, I'm thinking of, I'm like, oh wait, those were Nintendo titles.
Oh, you got some? No. No. No.
Well, were there any interesting topics that people wanted to talk about at all? And I kind of wanted to talk about when, and we've already done that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, we've already gone for an hour now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm
if
not
we
gonna
want to just
lie,
cover
I,
releases.
I may have been on a boat all day. I did not come prepared for this.
I went to a wedding and I took a 30-minute nap at a gas station. I was so tired.
We all live exciting lives.
Yep.
Yeah,
Chris, what did you do today?
I shopped for food and stuff, so I can bring that back.
I'm glad to
When I
see
go
that
back to
we
school
all
next
made
week.
it back safely.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
my face is good.
Okay. I'll talk about the one thing. I have seen one movie recently.
Okay.
I went and I saw Batman, Ant-Man, different animal, completely different kingdom of animal. But yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
How was it?
It was good. It did not feel like a Marvel movie. It has a different cinematographer. This is where I show my nerdy film side, but it was a
Go
completely
ahead.
different
I'll pretend to
cinematographer.
understand.
It was a completely different cinematographer, so it felt very different. The way that they, like, just the settings that they used on the cameras, the way that they framed everything was very different from what they usually do.
Hmm.
So it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. It really felt like a heist movie. That's what it is. It's a heist movie. It's a really good heist movie.
I like
Okay, that's
heist movies.
Yeah, then you'll probably like Ant-Man. It has much more diversity cast-wise as well. Just from like a ethnic standpoint. Um, they it was interesting. They introduced some minor characters. I don't know if I want to see them necessarily again. It's kind of one of but they did some things that Marvel doesn't usually do. So Marvel's just showing that
that's cool.
once again they can adapt and they can do different kinds of movies. They don't have to be superhero movies. They can be all sorts of movies. So
Honestly, I think that's what
Yeah.
Marvel does best is
Mhm.
taking the superhero out of the equation and just making it a movie first and a superhero movie second.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause that's
So
like what they did with Daredevil too.
I mean, even Iron Man, which was very much a superhero movie, for a
Mhm.
good chunk of it, we are watching a man just fend off terrorists and try to escape a hopeless situation in a cave.
also it's almost more like a science fiction movie than it is a
Yeah. Not
like
to mention
superhero movie.
dealing with
Yeah,
alcoholism. Lots and lots of alcoholism.
And then you've
so
got your
much.
Captain America has his first one is a like a war documentary.
Yeah, I
And then
really
his
Yeah,
liked that.
second
yeah, it
one
is.
was like a spy film, a really good spy film.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we'll see what his third one is. His third one's gonna be awesome.
My
Looking forward to that.
my favorite part of
Third
Iron
one.
Man 2 was when Charlie Sheen found that power suit.
Yeah,
That was
Iron
basically
Man
the
2
entire
is
movie in a nutshell is one day Charlie Sheen was walking around and found an Iron Man suit. He went back to his home and threw a bitchin' party.
sounds about right. That was about the Chris is very confused.
I am very confused.
Charlie Sheen's a very disturbed man.
Then
What?
but I'm really looking forward to Doctor Strange. So I want to see what Marvel can do
Yeah.
with horror, because that's what Doctor Strange is going to be. It's a horror movie. So
Makes sense.
I mean, why else
technically
would
Mike Stevens?
well the person who's directing it is the guy who directed Sinister. So you don't bring a
Good
guy
kid.
like that unless you want it to be a horror film. And Benedict Cumberbatch is really good. And the like secondary role, I've heard all of their options for casting, and they're really good actors. So it's going to be a very all-star cast.
Sweet.
Possibly Morgan Freeman.
Oh, then it's going to be great.
Ah,
It's either Morgan
It's just-
Freeman or it's the Asian gentleman in Inception. Have you guys seen Inception? Go watch
Mm.
Inception. That's such a good movie.
You've
Go
told me
watch
that
it.
many.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll
Um,
get there.
If I did that
But-
every time someone told me to do it, I'd be watching movies all day.
you should.
Christian, go watch Pixels.
Chris, we'll watch Pixels together, all right?
Woo!
Just not in theater.
No, I won't be seeing it in theater.
So,
I'll find myself.
so I guess talk about what's coming up in the movie and games worlds. Because there's
Um,
so many games coming out.
I was gonna
That's a
say
lie.
once
There's
again,
nothing. I
not
looked it
much.
up. There's nothing.
It's August now, so nothing should be coming out for a good while.
Movie season. There's movies that are out.
Yeah,
Oh.
there are
Mission
movies.
Impossible just came out. I don't know how well that did though.
I don't know.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure that came out a long time ago.
No, the new Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. Wow, that it's got a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wow, and Rotten
That's
Tomatoes
good.
is
That's-
very picky.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they are.
IMDb gave it a 8.2. That's good. That just came out 2 days ago. That was this weekend. So, Brienne really wants to see that, so maybe we'll go see it.
Hmm.
But I am especially looking forward to Fantastic Four. That's coming out soon. That comes out this week.
Does that? I keep forgetting that that movie is actually like coming out soon.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
keep-
I
awesome.
keep feeling like it's a joke, because I'm sitting here thinking like, didn't that movie already come out?
Ah.
It did, but
But we're doing it
I'm-
again because no one really liked that one.
And the award for remake goes to Fantastic Four for nobody liked your original movies anyways. The first one was okay, but the second one definitely wasn't that great. So
Rise of the Silver CGI.
Whoosh.
apparently, I guess the Thing doesn't have pants in this one, so everybody's like really up in arms about that. I guess.
Why?
What?
Why
that's-
would they be up in arms about it?
Because that's the Thing's costume is basically the pants he wears. So
He-
Why though? Is he
I'm s-
hiding something? Does he have a
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know. But hey,
Yes,
I think
he does.
I'd rather have people. You know who else was? They complained about not having pants. A studio with a very famous character, Chewbacca. At the very end of filming, they're basically like, we have this alien that's not wearing pants. We should give him like lederhosens or something. That's a great
your
idea.
answer, Lederhosen.
Yep, that's what they're gonna do. And then George Lucas is basically like, no,
that
No.
sounds dumb.
no, why are we gonna give him pants? But yeah, I'd rather have people complaining that the Thing doesn't have pants than that Johnny Storm is black.
That's
Apparently, Stan Lee just came out
Oh my
recently
God.
to talk about that.
Oh really?
really.
Yeah.
What do you have to say
What
on
do
it?
you
Which is interesting because he's recently come out and said that he believes that Peter Parker, not specifically Spider-Man, but that
Yeah.
Peter Parker needs to remain the way he was made. White cis male, but he was like, "No, this is fine. I think it's a great idea. It's genius what they're doing." And he's like, "People aren't complaining about the Human Torch being black because he's going to be black. They're complaining because it's going to be a new actor." Like everybody
Yeah.
complained when Andrew Garfield was casted as Spider-Man, and you know what? He did a great job as Spider-Man. People complained when Heath Ledger was casted as the Joker, and he's going to be a legend and remembered as the Joker forever.
Hmm.
So it's just, people just don't like change. It doesn't matter who you are, they just don't like change.
That's very true.
And other than that, I think, that's about it. There's not really
there's
anything
not a
else.
lot going on this week.
Not even in movies.
And-
It's a slow week.
Yeah.
They're waiting for school to pick back up. I don't know.
Well, I suppose that will be us signing off for the night.
Yeah, there's not really that much more to talk about.
I'm Christian,
Yeah.
No, I'm Jared.
Chris.
and we'll see you all next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Catch ya.